know these headphones got a little shortage in it, but I guess I'll find out when whoever comes on will let me know. Um, but yeah, I just got through watching this movie called The Night Gate. Baby, I don't know who suggested that movie to me, but no. No thank you. No thank you, no thank you, and no thank you. Um, no thank you. Um, again, no. Whoever you were that suggested that movie, no thank you. Baby, I sat there through that movie. First of all, let's just start off with that's a long movie, okay? I know that movie was gonna be that long. I watched it, it was on Tubi. Baby, when I say that is a long movie, um, it's at least 2 hours. That movie is long, okay? It gotta be at least 2 hours. I'm sitting there like, baby, and I like Johnny Depp. I normally I like Johnny Depp, but baby, this movie, okay? So he, he likes these older books. He's like he's not actually a collector. He gets them and sells them, or he works for different people to get the books that they want. These rare books from other people that may have that might be interested in selling the book. Um. Anyway, we're not gonna go deep and long into that part. Hey, Jordan. Hey, Ace of Spades. So the Ninth Gate, I thought, like, okay, where he's, hey, thank you. Uh, so he, you see, first he kind of was negotiating this deal about these books. He got like this old collection or whatever. But I'm just gonna fast forward that part. Because this movie right here, The Night Gate, I wish I would remember who suggested this movie. Baby, so the book is demonic anyway. And I'm like, okay. Through me. I'm like, okay, whatever. Hey, I'm not finna judge this movie off of this. Uh, so we get to the scene where the man that owns this rare book, which is the Night Gate, he was talking to him and he was like, oh, well, I need you to do this thing for me. And he was like, no, I don't want to do it. But he offered him a certain amount of money to go kind of investigate the book and make sure the book is authentic. And Johnny Depp was like, he wound up taking the man up on this offer. The man gives him the copy of the book in question. It's supposed to be three other books just like it. Well, two other books just like it because it's only three, and it's two other books just like it. And he's supposed to go and check those three out, well, these two out, and compare them to the book that the man had. But I'm like, okay, I'm following the story pretty well. It's all right. Okay, I'm following the story. So the lady that the man acquired the book from, where he acquired the book from her husband. Her husband hung himself at the beginning of the movie. I'm like, what in the world am I watching? So the lady, she's like, he wasn't supposed to say that book was mine or whatever, but the man sold the book. Okay. I done got my eyes closed, but oh, so man sold the book to this man that hired Johnny Depp to go investigate and make sure this book is authentic. Okay, so the lady wants the book back because it goes along with the story. So anyway, Johnny Depp goes to France, I guess. Well, first of all, his friend that he asked to stash the book overnight because he said it was some weird things occurring. His friend died in the movie, okay? He see his friend that stashed the book from hanging from, like, I guess the stairwell thing in his shop, spiral staircase, hanging by a leg. Why by a leg? I don't know. Like, literally hanging upside down. I'm like, okay. So I thought, well, Johnny Depp is gonna call the police. Yes, seems like you sleep. Somebody sleeping. I am. So I thought Johnny Depp was gonna call the police, or let them know that he found his friend dead. No, you know what he went and did? He went to this little secret little compartment and got the book and went and proceeded to go out to the taxi and hey, Texas gal, um. He proceeded to get in the cab and go to a phone booth to call the man that had hired him to sell the book and tell the man, hey, I'm out. It's too, I don't care about the money. I just don't want to do this anymore. But the man was like, no, no, no. I really need this to be done. Blah, blah, blah. I can pay you more. He's like, the money don't matter. But anyway, Johnny just decided to keep doing it. But like, in the midst of this, all I was thinking is, so you're not gonna call anybody and inform them that your friend is dead. Okay. Anyway, so Johnny winds up going to France or whatever, to go meet the other people that have these copies of this book. He went to this man's house, right? Now, the one thing that I don't get when he's checking out these books, now this is a rare book, right? Not many copies. It's delicate. Why are you smoking? The man was the man is smoking over this rare book. Y'all want to talk about the movie The Night Gate if y'all wondering what I'm talking about. The man, Johnny Depp was smoking on the book. He drinking and all this stuff. Why are you doing it if this book is rare? You just flipping through the pages. I'm pretty sure if the book is that old, you got to be gentle with turning the pages and everything like that. It's still, but that's neither here nor there. Maybe I'm just, maybe I don't know enough. Maybe you can smoke and drink around the books and stuff. I don't know. This is supposed to be like a 1780, I think, book or something. I don't know, somewhere around there. Why? I just was wondering. So the house that he went to, he had this mansion. The man allowed Johnny Depp to investigate the book. Most people wouldn't allow you to do that with this rare, really rare book. And he was like this, really into all this. He was a collector. So you allow somebody to drink and smoke over the book that you are collecting, your collection. Okay, possibly burning pages, possibly staining them, but you don't allow this. Okay, so hey, that's just me being me. I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's a movie. So he's investigating the book. He sees the differences in the book. So, oh my goodness, it's a difference. He didn't tell the man, but he wound up leaving. And then somebody like almost hit him with a car and whatever. So, as he was leaving the man's house or whatever. So, anyway, he goes to his room and falls asleep. He receives a phone call from the man that he's working for, and he tells the man about the differences in the book. Anyway, I guess he sees the young lady. It's this young lady he met on this train when he was going to this place. I sped past it because she's the important part. So anyway, young lady said, winds up knocking on his door and said, hey, follow me, this and that. She wants him taking him back to the man's house that he went to the previous day to check out the book and compare. So the man is dead, and he's like like I don't know what the thing is. He's drowned in the thing, in the little water thing that sits out front of your house. Okay, and all this, I'm like, okay, is he gonna call the police about this? No, he wants to enter the man's residence. Why do you want to enter this man's residence after he died? Now, the man that he worked for, let me start. The man that he wants to work for wanted the book that in question because he called on the phone the night previous, the one that Johnny Depp worked for. But anyway, so the girl, she already knew that the man was, had drowned. I'm like, so he's not questioning none of this. This all is in my mind. I was like, so he's not gonna question this. The girl is like, oh, you want to get in the house, and because the door was locked. And he's like, yeah. So she winds up scaling the side of the building. I'm like, bruh, are you serious? She climbs up to come down to unlock the door for Johnny. Johnny gets in the house. He's like, stay right here. Why is she? Anyway, he looks at the man collection. The book that he was previously investigating, the night gate, was gone. He looks in the fireplace. They didn't set the book on fire. It's mostly burnt up, but it's still. He reaches his hand in the fireplace to get the book, the burning book, and kind of stuffs out what he could. So anyway, um, it's so many scenes in this movie that just was wrong, baby. He the next day, cause I'm like fast forwarding through this movie, y'all. I'm just like I can't go into detail on each and every part, but baby, he wound up meeting with the Baroness, which just had the last copy of the book. She's like, telling him about it. Apparently she tells him about the coat that this demonic cult that she used to be in and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Like I said, I can't believe somebody suggested me this movie. Why would you even suggest this movie to me? Um so Johnny once she found out who Johnny was working for, she asked him to leave. But the man was persistent that Johnny go back and talk to the lady, whatever. So Johnny winds up going back the next day and speaking with the lady, and he told her about the differences in the book. Now he stashed the copy that the man that he worked for gave him in his hotel room. Why would this be smart? Why would you leave the copy of the book in an unsecure place? He just put it behind the refrigerator. He just put the copy of the book in an unsecure room behind the refrigerator. The book that you almost died for, you put it behind the refrigerator. Oh no, nobody's going to find it there. So, so anyway, he goes and the lady winds up allowing him to examine the book because he told her the differences in the book. He showed her, kind of printed off some copies of the book to show her the differences. Mind you, if you got to do a copy of a book, you're going to have to flatten it out. Wouldn't that tear the book or kind of, put strain on the book or something? Like, why is this smart? This is a rare book. Why would you be doing all this? I don't know. Like, why am I still watching this movie? But I say, okay, I started it. I'm going to finish this movie. So anyway, Johnny winds up examining the book. He found out the differences in her book. Okay, so as he doing this, somebody knocks Johnny out in her office. And when he comes to the lady's wheelchair is just going dicka 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 dicka. He went to go check it out, and now the lady is gone. Just she eyes rolled back and the tongue out her mouth. I'm like, oh gosh. And the he opens the door to the room next to where they're at. It's on fire. He looks in the fireplace. Of course, the book is in the fireplace, and he reaches his hand out to get the book out of the out of the fireplace. It's just burning. I'm like, oh gosh. So anyway, he retrieves the book. The lady has a secretary that's coming back from lunch, and the secretary is on the way up the stairs. So Johnny comes out of the room or whatever where he was at, and runs down the stairwell, almost knocking over the lady, almost knocking over the other lady, running. Oh, that doesn't look suspicious. Mind you, the lady that he went to see is a baroness. So yeah, sir, what? This is fire, and and she's gone, and you running from a building doesn't seem suspicious at all, and nobody's after him. Like, you never see a news story, nobody's after him, you don't see the police chasing him, none of this. Even after the other stuff that happened, none of this. So anyway, he goes back to his hotel room. And the people, when he goes back to his hotel room, he notices the cloth that he had the book wrapped in on the floor. Then he goes to check behind the refrigerator. When he checks behind the refrigerator, guess what? The book is gone. Really? You hid it behind the refrigerator, and now you're surprised that the book is gone. So now you gotta approach the front desk clerks. Like, hey, has anybody been in my room? It's like, nobody but your wife. Your wife. They let somebody up to your room claiming to be your wife. They just weren't doing their job at all. At all. At all. At all. At all. Um so anyway, he sees the lady that gave him the ride to the man's house, Fergus' house, the man that died with the other copy of the book. He's like, you been in my room? She's like, no, I haven't been in your room. And of course, he drags her to the front desk, and he's like, no, that's not her. They described the lady that went into the room. And he's like, he winds up getting a phone call from the man that he works for him. He winds up telling him what happened with the book. Because he's telling him, hey, well, the lady's dead. They burned her copy of the book. And the other copy of the book got burned at the other man's house. So he's like, good, good, good. So now he has the final copy. He has the only copy of the book. He's like, um, he said, well, you can bring my book back to me, and your check will be waiting on me. John is like, no, somebody stole your book. He was like, what? He said, now you know how I can be, if I don't get my book. Basically, he letting Johnny know, it's gonna be some trouble, if you don't show up with my book. So Johnny, and Johnny was like, oh no, oh no, the man wants this book. So he tries to figure out. The man at the dead front desk tells him, well, we found the people that you were looking for, because he had given a description of the people that almost hit him. You remember I said he almost got hit by a car? He had gave it to the front desk clerk. So front desk clerk kind of, like, he was able to find out where they were staying at. Why would the front desk clerk be able to find this information? I don't know. But the front desk clerk was. So Johnny, of course, he goes to check out where he says the people are. Of course, he finds them, and he decides to follow them. He tries like, let's have a helicab while we're here. He takes the young lady that was he had met on the train and showed him, that Fergus was gone. He takes her with him. Y'all, like I said, the movie just, mm-mm. Okay, so anyway, they decide to follow. She winds up stealing a car, basically. No problem, right? Like I said, he didn't. The burn his place and caught on fire. He didn't. The other man that died and all the, and ain't nobody searching for him. Ain't nobody looking for him. Ain't no news broadcast on or nothing. And now you done stole the whole car. I guess this is grand theft now. So anyway, he hops in the car with the girl, and they kind of like, how are you able to track these people that far? I don't know. They were hiding people. Yeah, for some reason they want to get in front of the people. She put on the disguise. The man didn't know where she was. He was linked. Johnny was linked all the way back in that two-seater where they couldn't see him. Wow. Okay, so anyway, they um they went a little far past them, so they had to bag up on the expressway. They bagged up on the expressway, y'all. They bagged up on the expressway and wound up behind a huge 18-wheeler. Okay. Um, of course, once the 18-wheeler turned off, the car was gone. So now it's like, which way do we go, left or right? And he's like, you choose. And then she was like, okay. And she chose, and apparently she chose the right direction. She's like, what did you say her maiden name was? And then all of a sudden, it's this sign that says the latest maiden name. So they follow it on around. They see this big old mansion or whatever. So he keeps on forward. They find a place where they kind of creep in and kind of look through the windows. So ain't no security, basically. I'm like, ain't no security around. And this lady got all these torches and all this stuff sitting in front of her house or a mansion. Anyway, they wind up looking through the window and finding where the woman was. She was undressed. She was undressed. She was about to put on this robe because she's a part of a cult. Okay, so he breaks the window. He breaks the entry now. Like he breaks the window, open the door. Where's my book? I know you have the book. So anyway, he winds up finding this copy of this book. Okay. And just then her assistant walks in, and he tells the other girl, watch her. But apparently when her assistant walks in, she didn't have time enough to stop the lady. The lady got a gun, and now all of a sudden Johnny, and the lady is being held captive and finna get disposed of. Okay, so she's like, not here, because I don't want them to stain the floor. Take them somewhere else. So now he walking them downstairs or whatever. He walking them downstairs to this other part of the mansion. Okay. Now the man is behind Johnny with the gun pressed up against him, right? So he finna walk them down some stairs, okay? As he walking them down the stairs, Johnny said, watch out, tell the lady, watch out. And then he reached back and grabbed the man and tossed him down the stairs. So when he watch out, you don't think to move. Okay, never mind. Anyway, so the lady moves, he tossed the man down the stairs and started popping him upside his head. Basically, popping upside his head. And then the lady grabbed a gun. So they go find the other lady, find where the other lady is. They having this cult meeting. So the man that he works for, well, wait, let me first stop. So Johnny takes the man robe that works for the other lady, that's part of the cult, and he walks down to join the thing. Okay, so the lady has the book and she's like reading from the book. Uh, and she read for the book or whatever in this meeting. The man that Johnny works for walked in. He said, you don't know what you're doing with this book. You know you're wasting on these insignificant people this book contains. He said, it's just made for me, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the man winds up going up there and then strangling the lady, and taking the book. He strangles the lady. The other lady stops Johnny from beating up the man or whatever, because the man, Johnny had kind of gotten in the middle of it, but the lady grabbed him, was able to hold him off. I'm like, how is small lady able to hold you? Okay, never mind. So anyway, the lady said, good, everybody seen him do this in public. Now you're out the hook. You don't have to continue. Johnny's like, no, I have to see this all the way through. Okay. So anyway, because at this point in time, I didn't even know that was the boss no more. I was like, okay, who is that man? Okay, so it didn't hit me until the end. Okay, so anyway, Johnny winds up following the man to wherever he went to. He kind of got lost, but then he looked at this old postcard that the lady had in her book, and he figured it out. Like I said, the storyline just was everywhere. So Johnny winds up going to the place where he thinks the man's gonna be at. And a lawyer heard the man is there performing this ritual. He's like, your check is waiting on you in New York. And Johnny's like, I'm not leaving here empty handed. I'm like, what is he talking about? Empty handed? The man just said the check is in New York. What is, I'm not saying, never mind. Maybe I'm just thinking too logically. Anyway, Johnny says the man and him get to fight, and apparently Johnny step on a weak spot and falls to the crack in the floor. The floorboards were just breaking and he fell in, but the man kind of like was thumping him into the ground. He said, you gonna stay there so you can see greatness. And he performs this ritual where he's like, he put his hand over the fire. He said, I feel nothing. I didn't put my hand through fire and I feel nothing. So the man douses himself with gasoline and proceeds to set himself on fire. And now all of a sudden he's like, I feel nothing. Then all of a sudden he did start to feel something. He's like, oh, he started to feel something. Then he falls on the floor and he's like, oh. Johnny goes, gets out the floor some kind of way and goes around and grabs the pages that he tore out the book. Takes you with him, and he shoots the man to kind of put him out of his misery. So anyway, when he gets outside, you see a hand. It's the lady. The lady, and Johnny start making out, and then they start, on the grass. Um, by the end of the movie, and Johnny, talking to the lady gave him, like, she wrote, like, once he woke up, he see, like, this address on the thing. So he went back to this shop that he had visited before, and apparently nobody was there. They turned over a bookshelf, and this sheet of paper, I guess, from the book shows this woman on the dragon thing, and sunset, and then Johnny, starts thinking about it, and I guess he's like sneaks, okay, I walked through the night gate. I'm like, this movie was everywhere, and it was terrible, y'all. I don't know. It was long for no reason, and it had a terrible, like, it was terrible. Nobody really thought this through to me. I don't know if we were watching the same movie to whom told me this was a good movie. This was not a good movie. This was a terrible movie, because even the making out scene, it looks weird, okay? They were waking out, but I was like, what in the, how you make out like that? The making out scene was horrible. Like, I'm like, it was disgusting. Almost looking at it, I'm like, I ain't never seen no makeup scene like that. And then it, following the storyline was not the easiest process. Plus, I guess I was starting to get a little bored with the storyline. But I was like, okay, I'm here. I'm going to finish what I started. So I watched it until the end. But it's a no for me. The Ninth Gate was a whole no for me. It was a no. I think it was not it was so long, but it was still not detailed enough. And then it was a lot of it mm, was just pulled out of thin air to me. I think they could have did a much better job on that movie. That movie, for it to be so long, you gotta let people know where you're going with this. The storyline should be easy to follow, somewhat, like at least somewhat easy to follow. Like I'm watching this movie and I'm like, please stop. I was just wishing it would be over. I just kept checking the time on the movie and just was hoping that it would end. And that's to be honest. And I love Johnny Depp movies. But this one, I had to say, yeah, probably a 2 out of 10. It was bad. It was bad to me. But to each his own. Somebody else might watch it and love it, but I did not. It was not a good movie. And I like horror films, but there were thrillers and suspense and all that. It was not giving. It was not giving. I think it was more of a suspense kind of mystery solving type of thing. I guess it had it going, but it was no, y'all. Just like this review was long, the movie was long. Okay, the movie was long for nothing. It was long for nothing. But that's just my opinion. You have to check out the movie, The Ninth Gate, to tell me what you think. And you may love it. It might be at the top of the top for you. But it's at the bottom of the barrel for me. Because, baby, it ain't the bottom, but it's down there. For them to spend so much money on this movie, I think, probably, for the places I see them, they done filmed it. And then the graphics behind it. Oh my goodness. Maybe I'm just used to our graphics nowadays. But it was just, even when they were riding the motorcycle, I'm like, yeah, green screen. So definitely giving green screen. Um, it was just, but I mean, they had to do what they had to do to fit everything into the movie. But but yeah, it was not giving, y'all. Um, Johnny Depp's acting was good in the movie, but the first lady that he kind of made out with and all this, it was awkward. The last lady he made out with was very awkward. You could tell it was a fake kiss. They just mushing against each other like this. I'm like, why are they doing that? It just look weird. Please stop. Please stop. Don't do that. But that's just my opinion. And like I said, I love Johnny Depp movies, but this one I did not love. Um, but if you're into like cult movies or like you're into like these demonic movies, I guess this might be the one for you. But it was definitely not that for me. It did not give. But I appreciate y'all for coming back to my live to hear me talk about a movie. I didn't get a chance to see Twister. Probably would have enjoyed Twister. Hopefully when I get a chance to see it, but I did not get a chance to see it. I hope that y'all can hear me right now because I don't know, I had to show it to my headphones. But the movie was terrible, y'all. Um Let me know what y'all want me to check out next. I would greatly appreciate it. Well, y'all, I'm finna lay up here and try to check out something else and try to forget this movie. I'm going to try my best to forget this movie. I'm gonna pray and yeah, I guess it's bedtime for me. But I hope that y'all have a wonderful night and thank you. I appreciate that, Jordan. At least I know you can hear me, baby. And again, the movie was called The Ninth Gate. The Ninth Gate. And you want to check it out. It's on Tubi, so it's free. Um, but yeah, I went ahead and watched it. Let me know what else we were watching. Well, y'all, I'm finna go. All right, Jordan, thank you so much for sitting through this. I don't know who else is here with me. I would have said something. Shout out to Ace's Page for coming through, and Texas Gal. No, thank y'all for stopping through, and whoever else is on with me, because I don't see anybody else in the chat, but I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for staying for this lengthy review of this movie. Um, I should have threw some more names out there on the characters in this movie, but the movie just it was a no for me, so I didn't really care to learn all the names. Um, ooh, I flopped on camera. It was gross. Oh God, I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna get over here. All right, y'all. Peace.